The fear of bugs, also known as entomophobia, is a prevalent and deeply rooted anxiety that affects millions worldwide. From harmless ladybugs to creepy crawlers like spiders and centipedes, the mere sight or thought of these tiny creatures can induce an intense panic and distress in individuals. Several factors contribute to this lasting fear, including innate instincts, cultural influences, and traumatic encounters. Humans are wired to detect and avoid potential threats with their unpredictable movements and sometimes venomous nature. Insects trigger these fearful responses. Additionally, depictions of bugs as pests or carriers of disease further reinforces negative perceptions. But, are we right in feeling this way? What if the world of bugs has something more to offer us than our fear?
Hi, I'm Dr. Wyatt Hoback. I'm a professor of entomology and plant pathology. Entomology is the study of insects and related arthropods. That includes spiders and ticks. Insects are both really positive, beneficial for the world. Things like pollination, removing waste products, dung, feeding wildlife, and also acting as natural enemies. So spiders eat a lot of mosquitoes and things that attack us. At the same time, arthropods are very damaging. So they eat about 20% of the world food production, and they transmit diseases that kill nearly 1 million humans a year. So they're kind of the Jekyll and Hydes of the biological world. Think about if you get a cold and someone asks you, oh, did you get the flu bug? Bug, right? Nothing to do with insects whatsoever, but it just is like, you got a bug, or your computer's not working, I've got a bug in it. We have kind of painted insects as the bad guys, and we don't know very much about them.
I don't like bugs.
You don't like? That's so fair.
I'm scared of spiders.
Like, I don't like spiders too much.
Spiders cause me to scream.
Don't we all?
I really like bugs. I feel like, like they're very essential to our ecosystem, and also like save the bees.
They're fucking bugs, man. they're fucking bugs. I don't know what to tell you.
Fair.
I kind of have like a phobia of spiders. If it's like in my room or something,
You're
killing it. But...
No, yeah, I get it. Fair.
I'm an animal science major, so bugs don't bother me at all.
They come in the house, they die.
Flies. I hate flies.
Just their presence is making the animals go off feed because there's so many of them around, the animals get kind of annoyed and agitated.
I get a fly swarm, I'm like, pah!
I hate bugs.
I hate them.
You hate them.
Yep.
So you're going out of your way to kill them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I'm allergic to most of them, so yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, you're allergic to most of them. Yeah. You wouldn't own a pet spider.
never in my life.
Okay. What if I had one behind my back and
I think I pooped myself.
I don't like when they're crawling on me. Like,
No, that's
there's
so
the
fair.
whole world. Like, go stand over there.
Does your girlfriend like spiders?
She loves them.
She does.
I'm buying her a pet spider soon.
Are you? Wait, really?
Why would you say that?
It's in, like, my room, in my house, yeah, in my car. Like, get out.
Yeah.
I didn't invite you.
I've always hated bugs.
'Cause they're gross and they bite.
I remember we went to like a bug zoo and we got to hold a bunch of bugs and it was kind of cute.
I like bugs. I think bugs are pretty cool. I don't like spiders as much, but like it's kind of cool when you look down and you like see like a centipede on the ground. Like those are kind of cool.
I also feel like spiders have 8 legs, which that's like so impressive.
Would you ever hold one like in your hand?
I would.
You would.
Is there a bug?
No.
Okay.
I was like,
Centipedes sort of squick me out a little bit. I've got a friend who's got like some really big ones, and I would not handle those for more than a few seconds because they like to bite for fun. But, aside from that, I'm not really afraid of them, and I just want to try to get other people sort of also exposed to that, because there's a lot that you can be exposed to that you might not otherwise.
Fear typically is associated with the physiological response when a feared stimulus is directly in front of you. So if you're scared of bugs, then if you see a bug, that's likely to elicit this fear response. And that's typically increased heart rate, maybe a sweating response, changes in breathing, changes in respiration. But I do think fears of insects in general are very common.
So Within trying to figure out why people fear arthropods, there's been a lot of ideas through time. One idea is that we're born with a fear. So babies recognized spiders as dangerous. A baby won't avoid a spider plush animal any more than it avoids a dog's stuffed animals. So generally, kids are cueing in on what parents do. There's also the fact that some insects can sting. So bees, wasps, ants can cause us physical harm. They have venom that is painful so that we remember the experience and we avoid it. That's called traumatic conditioning. Once you perceive something as gross, you don't want to learn any more about it because, you've got beautiful things to focus on.
So if an individual had a fear of spiders, for example, and that led to impairment in their daily life, then they could receive a diagnosis of specific phobia.
So I've actually always loved insects, but I didn't realize that it was a real major until I was 15. So I was originally just going to major in biology. And then I realized, whoa, you can specialize in just insects. Yes, I'm definitely scratching biology and doing that. That will be more fun. So as an entomologist, there's so many different things you can do with your career. It's very versatile. I mean, insects virtually impact everything in the terrestrial world. If you like to eat, well, you can work with food safety or food science. People are trying to study insects for a better protein source. They have more protein and vitamins and minerals per ounce than, say, beef. You could also work with pest management, disease management. If you love people and animals, if you want to be a medical doctor or a veterinarian, a lot of people be entomology majors to set them apart.
I mean, like when I was a kid, I would go outside and I would flip through all these books and then try to find all these bugs. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I told my grandma, hey, I found a stick bug. And she was like, that's not real. What is that? And then I pulled it out and she was like, oh my God, I've never seen one of those in like 60 something years. And so there's always been not only that love for them, but I guess that desire to spread that love to others and show them like they're not really scary. They're really helpful for our ecosystem. And beyond that, I think they're really cute. I know a lot of people don't, but like I take macro photography of little like portraits of them to show that detail because I feel like they're so small that a lot of people just don't spend that time to try to appreciate them. I love being an entomology student and I've been able to make a lot of great connections with people and with nature, and I hope that continues.
Entomologists are important and we need more of them because there's lots of different insect pathogens that can really hurt our animals.
After learning so much about the psychology of fear behind insects and hearing different perspectives from people who love bugs, we wanted to test our fear to see if we are capable of consuming these bugs after everything we've learned making this documentary.
Not excited for this.
I have mixed emotions. So here we have Thailand Unique Mixed Bugs.
That
it
she
has
ordered on Amazon.
From Amazon. Thank you, Amazon.
What
Should we get like dipping sauces? Maybe?
Some ranch. I'm eating the smallest one possible. I'm eating this little tail.
I'll do this. I'll do the big one.
Oh my god. I can't. It's the texture of it for me. Oh my god, I can't.
Oh, and wait, are you sure you don't want the one with the eyes looking at you?
No. Oh my god, no.
Well, a grasshopper.
Ew. Wait, I want to see yours.
I think this is the grasshopper. Like, if you put it
Ew.
together. Like, there is a whole grasshopper. Cheers!
Cheers! I didn't chew it and it got stuck in my throat.
Oh
my god, I thought it was like a mini safety pin. I can still feel it. I can still feel it in my throat. I should have chewed it.
Try another one.
No, I'm not trying another one, even if you paid me.
It's really not as bad as people make it out to be. I think that if you just don't think about it, maybe you...
I'm like not even... I just cannot. Oh my god! I think it's the
thought. I think it's the thought of eating something that's alive, like it's sitting there like looking at us, but also like I eat meat, like I eat like hamburgers and like chicken. I think it's definitely the stigma around it. I think it has to do with like, ew, bugs are so gross.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it just looked like little bodies of like little dead bugs. And I was like, this is something you would like see outside and be like, ew, that's disgusting. Not something that you would eat like in like for a meal. But like, it definitely does help my fear of them because like if a grasshopper were to start like flying at me or like jump at me, I would be so freaked out. But like just seeing it here, like it's really not that bad. And I think that now, like if a grasshopper flew at me, I'd be like, it can't do anything. Like it's not gonna do anything to me.
If it was alive, I'd be like, oh my god, get a shoe or something.
Yeah.
But now that we know that they're dead, it's like they're no harm to us, which like duh.
Yeah.
But like, why are we so scared of them at like in the first place? Like they're so tiny.
I
Like,
know.
what are they gonna do?
They're not gonna do anything.
But I have
like,
a fear of having to consume them. No.
Yeah.
Which I will not do again. But like, they're pretty good for you.
I know, and that's the thing is that like
a choice for me. But
I think it's just the way that they look. I really think it's
Yeah.
the way that they look. I think if you just put that aside,
and my fear really went away.
Yeah.
Because they're dead.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're eating them.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to fear.
Yeah, I agree.
They're so gross. Though.
They're still really gross.
Misconceptions. Where do I even begin? There's so many.
I actually have to work kind of hard to get an insect to sting me because the insect doesn't want to. It's spending valuable energy to do it. I don't roll around on the floor like Coyote Peterson.
Definitely my favorite one to dispel that's a myth about insects is people are like, why do you want to study moths? They're ugly and they just eat your sweaters. It's like, no, there's actually so many beautiful species, very important for the ecosystem, like food for wildlife, bats, birds, other insects even. People are also terrified of brown recluses and black widows. They're like, oh, your arm's gonna fall off if you get bit by one.
I'm scared of spiders.
Like, I don't like spiders too much.
Spiders cause me to scream.
It's like, no, most of those online internet photos are snake bites, or if you do have a reaction, you're in the 10% that has like a secondary infection. And people are like, oh, they have like the 2 bite marks. They bite like this.
More Americans die from dog attacks every year than from spider bites, by a lot.
Dang, that's
I'm more
so
of a
valid.
dog girl.
A dog girl.
We are used to dogs being around. We view dogs as man's best friend, but they're dangerous animals. They can hurt us. There's more than 1 million kinds of insects, and those that can sting have different types of venom. Recent research has shown a wasp from Brazil, when its venom encounters cancer cells, the venom kills the cancer cells, but it leaves the healthy cells intact. So that might be a new way to treat cancer. We just never know, and with 1 million kinds of insects that are very different than ourselves, it's a great source of new inventions, ideas, medicines, potential food for the future.
Typically, one of the first things that you do as a cognitive behavioral therapist is education about the symptoms and the presentation.
I think one of the biggest keys to overcoming fear of insects and related arthropods is knowledge.
Also, if you're continuing to avoid a feared stimulus, then that is just reinforcing that anxiety. If you reduce some of that avoidance and approach the feared stimulus and you're able to cope with that, that could lead to learning that I don't have to be scared of this insect.
Learning more about them, you appreciate how important they are and how beautiful they are. They're like mini canvases. Like, to me, I think insects are the coolest thing ever because they're all so beautiful. Putting them under a microscope just unlocks this whole new world. They really do look like mini little paintings with 6 legs. They're amazing.
Now, if individuals are experiencing fear that's so severe that it is impacting their life, then it might be useful to get some help with that. And that can look like going to a medical doctor, that could look like going to a psychologist or a counselor who has expertise in working with those symptoms.
When students get to see me sting myself when they do well on an exam, that reduces fear and hopefully increases wonder. And that is the greatest part of my job, is to have someone that comes in hating it because they don't know about it and don't think it's important, and then learn enough that a few years later I run into them and they tell me a story that stood out in class and how they tell their friends about it.
They should be important to culture as a symbol of perseverance. I don't know how they do it, but you steal your house and they find a way in, you know. I think, insects are very strong for their small size. They're quite remarkable.
A class like this, or a documentary like this, or just having people think about insects in a different way than being afraid, can really have big impacts in the future.
Insects are the pollinators and decomposers of our world. Without them, the essential food chains of the animal kingdom would break. This is why knowledge about these creatures is crucial to living alongside them. Initiatives like the Pollen Health Task Force aim to create pollinator-friendly environments across the country. The Monarch Joint Venture brings together government agencies, nonprofits, and private organizations to conserve monarch butterflies and their habitats. Citizen science programs such as the Lost Ladybug Project engage the public in insect monitoring and research. By collecting data on insect populations and distributions, these programs contribute valuable information to conservation efforts. Since insects are so crucial to our ecosystem, without these organizations, the world would be a lesser place. As we unravel the complexity behind our fear of bugs, one truth emerges: bugs are not the enemy. It's time to embrace curiosity over fear and recognize the beauty in the buzzing of life. By understanding these tiny wonders of nature, we can cultivate a deeper respect for the intricate web of life that sustains us all. Or, of course, we could always continue flinching and squishing.